After the insane critical and commercial success of the first Wonder Woman, a sequel was practically inevitable. Director Patty Jenkins had initially only signed on to do one film, but was interested in working on a sequel, eventually signing on as both director and co-writer in September 2017. She claimed that she wanted the film to be more of a love story than the first, bringing back Steve Trevor, because fuck it, if Marvel can bring anyone back, making all of the sacrifices completely pointless, we can do it too!
That is the truth.
And she also wanted the film to be a standalone follow-up rather than the next part of an overarching story, similar to the James Bond and Indiana Jones films. Dave Callahan was brought in to help with scripting, who was best known for writing, "Oh, son of a bitch! I don't want to hear it anymore." Filming ran from June to December 2018, and Wonder Woman 1984 was set to be released on December the 20th, 2019. However, the movie was then moved up to November the 9th to avoid competing with Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, but as it turns out, this was just the beginning. And not just because people would often debate which was worse between this and Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
When No Time to Die's release date was moved, so was this one, to November the 1st to take advantage of the extra week. Then it was moved again to June 2020 to capitalise on the summer blockbuster season, you know, during the summer where everyone was outside enjoying the sunshine. Then again to August 2020 in response to the COVID pandemic, until the movie was finally dragged kicking and screaming onto our screens for December the 25th, 2020. Just in time for the holidays. See, they even end it at Christmas. It's almost like they knew.
That doesn't make any sense.
However, unlike its predecessor, the movie flopped hard, only making $169 million against a $200 million budget. And reviews were far more negative, criticising the tone, performances, visual effects and story. Well, I mean, it can't possibly be as bad as Oh. I mean, this looks quite good. I can't lie. This cinematography is terrific. And this whole opening obstacle course of death is actually pretty sick, and the music is great. Even if Diana's a complete idiot, clearly misses a target and still tries to carry on competing, the dumbass.
No true hero is born from lies.
Well, I mean, she didn't really cheat though, did she? She missed a target, but then she showed initiative, showed how resourceful she was, the fact that she was still the first one down there. It's not really cheating, but I'm not being fooled by this cool opening. Yeah, trying to give me a false sense of security before the 2 hours of bullshit that's gonna follow. I'm not buying it. I may have bought it a little bit. The problem with this film is that it completely ruins the entire purpose of Man of Steel. In that film, it was such a big deal that a supernatural alien was living among them. But that doesn't make any sense when everyone's already been fully aware of Diana 30 years prior. This completely destroys the whole crux of that entire movie. This film is so bad, it made me defend Man of Steel. You think about what you've done, Wonder Woman 1984. We get the generic villain doing generic villain things for the hero to make a first appearance and save the day, but I fucking love how over the top the music is. You've got a dude hanging a child over a damn balcony. I don't think you need Darth Vader's theme blaring over it. Imagine if all musical scores were that over the top.
You just couldn't let me go, could you? This is what happened. An unstoppable force meets an immovable object.
But I will say, Gal Gadot shows more emotion in the first scene than any of the previous 3 appearances combined. In fact, she spends a good chunk of the film dismissing and glaring at everyone, but I mean, she at least resembles a person in this. She at least resembles an actress. Throughout the movie, she does a much better job. Who gave her acting lessons? I will find you. I mean, look at her. Her eyebrows are actually heightened. Where did this come from? But how the flying albatross beak sweat does nobody recognize her? Sure, she takes out the cameras in the opening, but what about all of the eyewitness accounts? In fact, she's seen throughout the whole fucking movie and nobody notices? I mean, at least Clark has glasses. At least Supergirl dyes her hair. She what, puts on a fucking tiara? The main villain is, it's that chap from Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 4 Episode 1, the Freshman.
Pedro Pascal did not play Din Djarin, Oberyn Martell, Joel Miller and Javier Pena just to be known as that chap from Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 4 Episode 1, The Freshman.
But that's who he is.
Oh!
And you can tell he's the bad guy because he's wearing a suit and is extremely charming, and I've seen a movie before. Oh, and he's called Maxwell. Can you name a Maxwell in a movie that isn't a supervillain? His physical appearance and line of work led many viewers to believe that he was actually supposed to be a derogatory stand-in for Donald Trump, who was president at the time of filming. But Patty Jenkins has repeatedly denied these comparisons. I will give him this, he is having an absolute blast in this movie. He really is having the time of his life. He gives it his all. It's quite astounding. He doesn't really need to try this hard for a film like this, but he absolutely owns every frame he's in.
Oh, I don't have a TV.
Wait. Diana doesn't have a TV. A crime fighter? Don't you think you should have that to keep an eye on what's going on in the news? We're introduced to Barbara, played by Kristen Wiig, who is a nerdy loser because she's unbelievably hot, but she has glasses, so she's a nerdy loser, and we're supposed to believe that she's an ugly tramp. No, seriously. She finds this magic rock and wishes to be like Diana, so she gains her powers and gets a full makeover so everyone starts paying attention to her because now she looks amazing. Yeah, I mean, imagine this goddess wearing glasses. Oh, look, she put them back on. Oh, this disgusting trollop. The setup is beyond stupid and makes his sacrifice pointless in the end, and also makes Wonder Woman even more like Captain America, because essentially it's now the second straight film with the exact same ending of her losing her love, so the films are just repeating their own shit. He's even amazed at all of the new technology like Captain America. We get the generic dressing montage, but it also turns out that Chris Pine's character hasn't resurrected. He's just taken over another man's body as he sees a different guy in a reflection, even though when Diana sees him, she recognizes him and kisses him. I mean, does she see Chris Pine? The film doesn't explain it, so I'm going to say it's a plot hole, and this film killed my grandmother. Furthermore, this plot point was actually heavily criticised, as he takes over another man's body without his consent, which is one thing, but the film doesn't really acknowledge what happens to the other dude while Steve is possessing his body, nor do Diana or Steve acknowledge the issue of consent. Now, I do think that criticism is a bit of a snowflakey issue. However, they have sex while Steve is still inhabiting the other man's body, and this was condemned as being a form of rape. Now, Jenkins initially defended the plot point, claiming that it was no different from the popular body swap trope seen in the likes of Big or Freaky Friday, though many have pointed out that body swap stories are not as politically correct now as they were in the 1980s. And also, you know, it's completely different. In Big, Tom Hanks didn't possess someone else's body, he wished he was big and is then turned into an adult. But he's still a child, so yes, all of the sexual stuff in it is still wrong and uncomfortable. Freaky Friday, they switch bodies, but they don't have sex with them because it's mother and daughter, and even if they did, that would still be wrong. In Buffy the Vampire Slayer, her and Faith switch bodies, and Faith then shags Buffy's boyfriend, with him completely unaware that it's the wrong person, so this is also rape and also wrong. Patty, just so you know, if someone else does something wrong, you then repeating that wrong thing doesn't make the wrong thing right. Ah, yes, Miss Jenkins, I accuse you of raping this young man, but Your Honor, Michael Jackson did it first. Good point. Case dismissed.
We won't be doing that today.
But look, she even meets the poor rape victim at the end. Oh, such a wholesome moment. It doesn't even make sense because she deliberately put this plot point in place. I mean, Diana wishes for him to be resurrected. There was quite literally no reason to have him take over someone else's body. Just have him be alive. Again, in his own body, you weirdo. She went out of her way to create rape. As soon as Barbara is given Diana's powers, you know Marvel are fapping somewhere, having the hero against the evil version of themselves. They find out Maxwell was headed to Cairo where the stone was found, and Chris can somehow fly the plane. Yeah, apparently the planes in 1916 and the planes in 1984 are exactly fucking identical. And after being able to briefly turn a mug invisible once...
And in 50 years I've only done it once.
Well, now's not a bad time to start trying. How long does it last?
I don't know, it was just a coffee cup.
Diana is magically able to turn their entire aeroplane invisible because... comics. But I mean, they think it's a good idea to fly directly through fireworks. I'm not complaining. Let them blow up, see if I care. There is a pretty decent scene where Barbara kicks the ass of a creepy dude who was trying to harass her earlier, but the dialogue in this film was written by a bunch of handicapped toddlers on drugs.
You cannot be the winner because you are not ready to win.
I hate guns. This world was a beautiful place, just as it was. And you cannot have it all. You can only have the truth. And the truth is enough. The truth is beautiful.
No correlation or segue. Just wanted to point out that the dialogue in this film is the equivalent of taking swimming lessons with Michael Barrymore. And they get Jerry Lawler in this. You know, for a feminist movie, why are they promoting a paedophile? Hey, what do you know? Bullets to the flesh actually do work. It's because she's slowly losing her powers. But my point is, it took them this long just to try to aim for her skin. Wow, I have never before seen such uninterested children in a superhero movie. Their lives are in danger and they couldn't give two shits. But I can't get over the fact that this is a DC movie about wishes. Why they turned DC into fucking Disney princesses?
How's traffic? Huh? Terrible. Don't you wish it wasn't? And that everywhere you went parted like the Great Red Sea? Of course I wish that.
And none of this makes sense. Nobody talks this way. So apparently anyone could just enter the White House, but why doesn't Chris Pine just wish for all of the wishes to be undone? I mean, Diana doesn't want that to happen, but he does. He hasn't made a wish yet. Just make the fucking wish and save us all some time. I need to pee. Okay, there is an interesting moment where there's pure carnage and panic, but Diana is unable to help and some really creepy atmospheric music plays, and it's quite a cool little scene. But it turns out all they need to do is literally renounce their own wish.
I renounce my wish.
So why didn't Chris Pine wish for all of the wishes to be renounced? The villain ends up trusting Barbara and he grants her a second wish. But you see movie, there's a little problem here. Earlier in the film, he wanted this fella to wish him into the White House and he said he couldn't grant him one more wish.
Have I asked for your wish before? Yesterday. A Porsche. What is it with you aids and Porsches? You!
He literally says that. It would have benefited him. He said, oh no, I can't grant you one wish. I really wish I could. I wish I could, but it's beyond my power. I can't grant you a second wish. So how the flying donkey ballsack in my mother's genitals does he grant her a second wish?
Everything is going to make sense.
There is a nice montage of the world all making their wishes and causing chaos before... Sorry, Diana's golden suit looks ridiculous. I mean, props for acting in this shit with a straight face. Is this Wonder Woman or bananas in iron pajamas? I mean, this is a superhero film where the hero is begging the villain to take back her fucking wish. Then she kills her. Oh shit. All right, I must admit, I didn't see that coming. Just kidding, she's alive. This film sucks! They make out like everyone in the world is collectively renouncing their wishes, but I mean, all of this is based on every single person just listening to her, asking them nicely. I mean, not everyone's gonna listen. One woman wished for $1 million. She's not gonna renounce it, is she? Although this is unintentionally hilarious.
I renounce my wish!
Big bad Maxwell renouncing his wish and then running away like a little bitch. Then the film ends with a Linda Carter cameo that is beyond forced.
But I've been doing this a long time.
Great job, Linda. Now, just in case the audience didn't get that, give a wink to the camera. This movie blows! And somehow, kinda prefer it to the first one. I'll be honest, I remember nothing from the original. Maybe that's a testament on how batshit insane this one is or how forgettable the original was. It has some decent sequences, but overall the story is stupid and doesn't make a lot of sense, intertwined with a pointless resurrection that means nothing. Wonder Woman continues to disappoint. Do you guys understand the pain I had to go through? I'm recording this after I've watched them all. By the end of it, I was a destroyed man.